Hey guys, Elliot here, the director of the AFK Arena skit. I just thought today it would be fun to maybe just do a little director's commentary, talk about what sort of went into making it. So, you know, as I said, I'm the director. You might recognize me from like the end screen of like the One for All videos, where I'm like trying to be like super YouTube energy, but I'm not gonna do that today. I'm just gonna do like a simple like chill little chat. I'm probably only gonna do one take of this, and I don't really feel like editing it, so hopefully it's not a complete failure. Let's face it, it might be, but I do have a drink here, so like let's get smashed and see where this train wreck takes us. Okay, so AFK. This video has been in the works since like pre-COVID times. It's been that long. Originally, it had a completely different hero at the end of it. And that hero came out, and then the next hero came out, and then a couple more came out. The new heroes were Zafriel and Lucretia. I like them more than the previous hero designs. Blessing in disguise, really. This was the first sort of time I've had a writing partner. I co-wrote the script with Chiru, who is like apparently a super fan of AFK. Like, I asked my friends list originally, like if anybody had heard of this game, and lo and behold, here is Chiru, who has written articles for the Wikipedia. Yep, of course we hired her. So she came on, and I guess she was more like a writing assistant because she sort of more just helped me figure out who the characters were, and like she helped me sort of learn to write their voices. So that was a huge help. And, you know, if we ever get to do another one of these AFK videos, she might have a bigger part in the script writing process. Who's to say? So, without further ado, so stock image of a moon. This is actually... Part of that was day for night, which meant that we went there and we filmed during the daytime, and then we graded it down in color correction to make it look like night. So this was the first shoot day. It was like 4 or 5 hours at night. Originally, it was going to be like the entire film was going to be set at night, which, you know, seemed like a good idea at the time, but yeah, I think in practice, once you actually realize like how much effort goes into a night shoot and how just grueling it is. Oh my god, I'm still talking about this night stuff, and we've already moved on to the next scene, so I will pause it there. And we're back. I already screwed it up, so this is off to a great start. Look, it's an experience. We'll see if it's like fun or interesting, or if you guys even want to see more of it. And we might be able to do something for One for All, because, you know, I have a lot more to say about that. So as I was saying, it was originally going to be like a 3-day night shoot, and, you know, bollocks to that idea is what I say. It would have been really cool, but it's like, it's so grueling. You know, you're working from, like, you start a shift at like, you know, 7, and you're just in the cold, and this was like late winter, I guess, when we shot this, maybe early spring, I forget when it was. But it was like, it was cold outside, it was freezing, and it would have been just awful. And I think after a single day of that, and once people's like body clocks start getting like messed up, yeah, we would have had like some really, really unpleasant shoot days. So I'm glad that we didn't do that. All right, so let's move on to the next scene. All right, here we go. Here we go. It was a fake arrow, in case you can't tell. Here we go. Oh, the deer. The deer. We weren't sure if we were ever going to include it, so we sort of shot a version with and without, because, you know, that could have been really, really janky. I think it turned out pretty well in the end. Here we go. Laika, Lucius, Citrana. Oh, every time full cosplay like hit Citrana's ears, Chairu, who's playing Citrana, of course, Chairu would just like reach for her like actual ears, because big furry ears, they're not, you don't have feeling in them, you just go straight for your ears, and you'd always see her like moving around the headband. So I think that was gonna happen like 3 times in an original script, but yeah, we cut that because it didn't look great. So I
hope you have that coffin ready then, Fox.
Why don't you stick your
yes, the coffin.
find out?
The coffin that doesn't exist, so you have zero context for what they're actually talking about. So what if I told you guys that Fawkes, in this entire sequence, he wasn't actually there on the day? Because he wasn't. The costume, we ordered that. It was actually made by a forgeling who plays Antreus, and he's in quarantine in Melbourne. And so what happened was he couldn't come to Sydney for the shoot, so he actually just shipped it, and of course, it got stuck in a warehouse somewhere, and we could not find it. The courier had no clue what was going on. We needed it. It was supposed to come like the Thursday before the shoot. We shot this scene on a Monday, and we're on the phone all Friday. We're on the phone all Monday on the shoot day, just like, hey, where is the costume? We have an actor here. We need him in the shots. We're paying him to be here, and the actor's just sitting around, just like, I don't know, what do I do? And yeah, it didn't come until a much later scene. So we actually ended up having to come back to the same location, pay more money to shoot with just the Fawkes actor by himself, and we shot him against a green screen so that we could comp him into the wide shots. Yeah, fun.
My name is Angelo.
There we go. It's pretty seamless. I mean, you can see a little part at the bottom on like where his foot is, that it doesn't quite, like, the shadow and the color's not 100% correct, but I think it's pretty good. That laugh is probably like my favorite part of the whole film, because it's like a genuine reaction from Chairu. I think she messed up her lines, or she like was actually laughing at the actor who plays Angelo, who is so good, by the way. I love him so much. But like, a single genuine piece of emotion, it's great. A candid reaction. I love it. That's my favorite part. And it's better than what was originally written. So I am happy with that. All right, back to it.
I may not be the sharpest hero, but do not fret. Battle is my forte, and
These are all so bad, and I'm so sorry for writing
One
them.
episode with bad jokes was enough.
Hey! Come, let us put a stop to this.
Here we go. So, Laika, for cosplay on the day, I give her crap for this like so much recently, but she didn't sleep the night before the shoot, and she'd been up for like 36 hours just finishing the costume. And like, this is obviously why you have the costume fitting and all of that stuff like well before the shoot, so that anybody who is working on this stuff has some time to recover for the shoot. But yeah, we just got into a bottleneck, and we ended up just having to just shoot, and so Fall Cosplay has not had any sleep at all. And you can tell just her delivering this, she's like dead inside.
You're the boss.
It's hunting time.
Guys,
Oh, look at that seamless inclusion of Fox. Mwah.
to me.
So VFX were done by Ken Kinasji. He's so good. He just made all of the scenes just really pop, like the zombie eyes. They look really sad without that, but he made them terrifying. It's great.
My friend.
So this is probably my favorite scene in the whole film, because originally it was going to be completely different. And I think just like going into this film, we'd really like sort of committed to, we were making fun of the game itself and like the game mechanics, but I think in the end, it just, for a short film, and it was going to be like 5 to 10 minutes, like it's just not that interesting, you know, like it's not fun. And it just sort of, every time you cut to like the gameplay mechanics, like, so what I mean is we were going to have them like in a party formation, just standing in the open, so it would look like the game itself. So you got your 5 versus 5, but it's not cinematic and it's not interesting. And the scenes just, they don't have any tension because they're really just like set up, and they feel just artificial, and it just sort of reminds you that you're playing a game. So you're watching like an adaptation of a game. And so like when I wrote this scene, like this was sort of like 2 or 3 days before the shoot, to the point where like some of the cast hadn't even read the new scripts featuring that scene. It was just completely different. I threw out all of that methodology about like playing with the game mechanics, and I just wrote like a fun scene, and I sort of wish that I had done that as well earlier on for the opening scene. Because, you know, the introduction of all the characters just one by one could be way more interesting. And, you know, part of that is because of Fork's costume not being there. And part of it is also because I think a lot of the costumes were sort of only really finished and put on the actors on the day. So we spent way more time that morning just getting everybody dressed and sorted.
Guess the jig is up.
Be on your guard. They are coming.
Looks like we're doing this the old-fashioned way.
And here we have like pretty generic like cosplay montage. Like this sort of reminds me of like what we used to do at like Deerstalker at cons, where we just like shoot like cool little interactions. Like, you know, none of these scenes really, like you could probably cut most of them because they're really only just showing off like what the characters can do. I guess that's cool. I love this. We had like the makeup artist and the standby costume person just watching the scene behind the camera, and every time Forks did that and walked away, they would just be like, "Oh, so cool!" Yeah, it was great. It was actually really cute. I loved that. And here we have Laika standing on a grave, which, you know, I realized, you know, maybe that's not the most, like, the nicest thing to do, but I guess, you know, it's not really respectful of the dead, but I guess the thing is that, you know, when you actually look at this graveyard, and these bodies are like, you know, over 200 years old or something. Maybe not that old, but you know, the any living family is like long gone. The graves are in like disrepair. A lot of them are like cracked and broken and so worn down that you can't see who is even buried there. And because it's in Newtown, which is like, you know, sort of trendy, like hipster neighborhood, I guess. People will hate me for saying that, but sure. It's like, you know, people go there and they do things in these graves, and they're not necessarily like nice things. Like I'm sure people fuck on those graves. Like, let's be real.
You're all out of tune.
This part was so funny. We were just like
Find this guy.
cracking up just watching it. Like everybody's like trying so hard not to laugh. You just hear like snickering behind the camera. Alright, here we go. So we got Shamira, big bad guy. She's been like built up for like 5 minutes to be like this unstoppable, powerful warrior lady. She got taken down by a single arrow. What do you do? We had a whole other scene like in between that scene and the previous to be like, oh my gosh, she's so strong. Like the zombies are overwhelming us. There's too many of them. Quick, if we just all sort of work together and set up Leica to take the shot, then we can, then we can do this. But we had to cut that for time, and this is what we end up with.
You cannot kill what is already dead.
So, this is the first scene in the whole film where Fawkes is actually on set with the other cast members. And this is halfway through the last day. So, you can... Yeah. That's fun. I love the coffin.
What a glorious finale.
Even like the placeholder effects, when you're like trying to figure out like the timing of everything, it was just like a 2D JPEG, just like boop. I love all of this guy's twirls. Like, I told him to twirl, and he did so well. It was so great.
I have a few notes.
Do you realize why he suddenly just like disappears? Well, it's because he wasn't there for the last scene. Like, he's not there. And I was just like, I can't be bothered like putting like green screening him into that shot. Screw that. So I just ended up writing him out basically. He's just like, bye, see ya. Thank you to our zombies for taking so many falls throughout this whole film. Love that. We did a lot of takes. I'm pretty sure like one of them had a skinned knee. Like the first take, she just bleeding in her, like all over her costume. The first take, is massive blood patch, and it's like, oh, this is fine. What could possibly go wrong? We should have known. Anyway, here we go. The new characters, Zafrael and Lucretia is about to appear. I love all of this stuff. Like, Ken's VFX just elevate this. They just really sell it so much. Otherwise, it would have been so boring. When we were doing rehearsal for this, we didn't know who the new characters, what they would like sound like. So they were just, we had to give them a voice line that hadn't been written yet in AFK Arena. We just had to make it up. So on the actual rehearsal, we had them say like, Zafrael, voice line TBC, Lucretia, voice line TBC. It was great. And like the two actors here, Soylent Cosplay and Wonyo, they had so much fun just screaming voice line TBC at the top of their lungs.
Lucretia, the gods.
I got away with an Avengers reference. Like,
Finally.
I'm proud of
Some
that.
real heroes.
I'm right here.
Nice. So that shot, we sent this video through to the client, and I mean, they didn't have a lot to say. I think overall they loved it, because, you know, we sent it through to get like final approval, and the only feedback they had for the entire film was, can we have a really big explosion at the end? Well, here you go. We added that. Just random explosion comes out of nowhere. Love it. All right. That's the end. We don't need to stick around for my call to action because who cares? You guys would have already played AFK or not. That's fine. Like, you do you. I really do like the characters and the video that we made. And I hope you guys too do enjoy it as well. But, like, you know, if you don't want to play the game, you don't want to play the game. That's fine. All right, so that's it. I'm starting to feel it now, in case you can't tell. If you guys liked that, I guess let me know. And I might start doing this for One for All. Thanks, guys. Bye.